So my question for today is, can you water marble onto ceramics? Hi, my name is Krista and I am the silk scarf lady. But today we are going to water marble onto ceramics. So yes, you can water marble onto ceramics. So these guys we picked up at the dollar store in West Kelowna where we live, and brought them home and prepared them and water marbled them. And so today I wanted to walk you through that process of what that looks like so that you can water marble onto ceramics at home. So the first thing that I highly recommend for someone who's just starting out with water marbling is this little kit. It's by a company called Jacquard. You can order it. I've put the affiliate link in my caption. You can order it through them. It comes with everything you need to water marble. And so water marbling is a really cool process, and I'm going to walk you through what I used to create these items. So this is the kit that I recommend, and in the kit it comes with 5, but I'm showing you 5 colors that you can use to create your design. But before you start water marbling, there's a few steps that have to happen. So this item is going to get prepared with an ingredient called alum. So alum comes in this form. It's this powder, and in the kit you get a certain amount and you can prepare it. So I have my measuring cup, and I have it all written down, but I use a tablespoon to a cup of water. So, and you want to use really hot water so that it helps dissolve all of these, kind of reminds you of sand, all of this into the water so it becomes totally liquid. So that's the first step, is that we're going to alum our item, and I applied it with a sponge brush, so just a brush like this, onto my items. You can also spray it with a spray bottle, but I just find that I like the consistency of just being able to know where I've put it with my sponge brush. So that's what I did. And then in order to do the action of water marbling, you need to have the floating material, which is called carrageenan. So it's a powder like this, and you're gonna mix it with water, and it's gonna sit overnight. And you're gonna mix it in your blender. And so when you get that kit, it has all the instructions of how you're gonna mix those ingredients together, and you let it sit overnight. When you first mix it, it looks really bubbly and kind of yellow, like a creamy yellow. And then once it's been sat overnight, it thickens up and becomes almost like really slimy, heavy water. And when you're ready to water marble, you want to have a waterproof surface, or like a towel down or something to protect your surface. And then you are going to need a container. Now your container needs to be waterproof. If it's got cracks, it's gonna spill the gel out, and you don't want that. And so you're gonna fill it deep enough that you can fit your item in. So because these are 3D items, we needed to be able to dip them or lift them and turn them. So you can roll your item, or you can totally just dunk it in if it's deep enough. So that's something to consider with how much gel you're making. Once you've prepared your gel, before you start printing, you're gonna skim it. So just newspaper, pieces of newspaper, and you're gonna skim that surface. And once you have it skimmed, then you're gonna float your paint. And with your paint, you can just squeeze the little droplets out, and then you're gonna make your design. Now, you can use something as simple as a barbecue skewer. It creates so much magic just with a stick. You can use a pencil, you can pull through, I've also done forks, all sorts of different tools, but this is something that we use every day with our workshops. Now, you can also make your own tools. I have a YouTube tutorial where you can DIY your own rakes and combs. Pretty obvious what I used here. It's a piece of cardboard, some duct tape, and some toothpicks. They don't stay straight all the time. They're going to wiggle and jiggle a little bit. There are more permanent ways you can make a tool, but this is such a simple and easy way to make a tool. You can also use a piece of styrofoam and stick them in, and it gives you so much flexibility to create as many different tools as you want to try and play with water marbling. The other thing you need is you can use newspaper, huge pieces of newspaper to clean off your tray, but I really like paper towel because it is easily accessible and it's just quick and it's done. The other thing you need is a rinsing station. So I use a clothes rack with a towel underneath to hang my items. And with the ceramics, they don't get hung, right? You can't hang it. So what we did was we had some bucket lids on the top that I used to set things on. So these guys just sat on the top, but you do need to rinse it. Now this is an old paint bottle, and I will have a bigger bucket of water and I'll just scoop in some water and pour it over whatever we've water marbled. So it kind of looks like this, just to rinse off the excess. So that's what we used to water marble these pieces. And so you can water marble onto so many different materials. These are all ceramics that were all made this week, just using all those items I showed. I love this one. This is what I did. I think I'm going to keep it in my studio. But on this one, you've got a couple of things that happened. We got some air pockets. You can see the ceramic through it. And we've also got a few areas where I just didn't rinse well enough and some of the paint kind of smeared. On this piece in particular, it was the very last one I printed, and I was really tired. And I didn't do a very good job rinsing it. But like, honestly, if you don't know, you don't know, right? And then the other thing with this one on the inside, you can see how some of the paint kind of got into the inside. So what I think I'm going to do is use some rubbing alcohol and kind of wipe out the inside so that it looks cleaner and clearer. So I would love to know if you have ever water marbled before. So feel free to comment if this is something you would try at home, and if not, that's okay too. Now with ceramics, I have two ways I'm going to finish this item. One was I tested out today was this clear spray coat. I was a little concerned that once I sprayed it, the stuff might smear, but it did a really great job. One of the vases back here, we didn't. So I'm just letting that one dry. So that was a really great way to finish the item. It's gonna have a bit of a shine to it now. The other thing I wanted to test was Mod Podge. And you could apply this just with that sponge brush. But I'm just, now again, I don't know if this will smear, right? So we're gonna test it. So, oh, got some on me already. Yes, I am the queen of making a mess, and that is my life, and that's okay. So water marbling is such a fun and unique adventure. And I don't think that even when you make mistakes and do things wrong, that you're gonna, I'm gonna test it on the bottom and make sure. Please don't smear, please don't smear. It's not smearing. Can you see it? That's not smearing, yay. Water marbling has been, so this is my 7th year of water marbling workshops, and I wanted to share some funny stories with you while I test out this Mod Podge on this vase. So I feel like I've been doing this for such a long time that maybe I have the system perfected, but my very first ever class I taught, I did not prepare the items properly that we were printing. So we were doing scarves, and I screwed up somehow, and the scarves we printed, so the very first person, the scarf we printed, firstly, before we even printed it, I was wearing an open sweater, which now I've learned I shouldn't have done, because I walked by her tray full of her beautiful design, ready to print it, and my sweater dragged through her design. So it kind of like we came across and like ran through her design and ruined it. And then we redid her design. It looked beautiful. We were ready to print. We printed it. And I must not have treated the items properly because nothing absorbed. It all just rinsed off in the water. I was mortified. It was my first ever, but thankfully it was a group of friends and family, and they were like, "Oh, don't worry, Krista, when you get it figured out, we'll come back, we'll do another one." And they all did. It was amazing. But oh, I felt so silly. So mistakes do happen. It is something that takes practice. It's not going to happen right at the very beginning, which is why I highly recommend all those kits. Isn't that great? So that's just going to dry. So it does look like it's got stuff all over it, but nothing is running. It's still looking really good. Oh boy, sorry. But that's why I highly recommend kits, proving my point that I'm a bit clumsy. The kit is a great way to start because it has everything. Those things should work. There's instructions. You don't have to second guess yourself. That's why I recommend that kit. Another funny thing that happened, oh man, I think it's always with your firsts. So my very first workshop that I taught at a winery, the gal had been really indulging in the wine, and she was the last person of the event, and she decided she liked the paint to move. So she started moving the table. So she moved the table so much that the table fell over. Thankfully, we were outside because, yeah, the gel dumped all over the ground, got everywhere. Her design, like once the table, we got it right back up, there was still paint in the tray and her design was still there, and it was very like, had moved a lot, right? And she loved it. We printed it and off she went. And there was no way on earth I was ever letting anybody move or shake the table ever again. I was traumatized for a few weeks after that one, but it worked out well. Everybody was happy, but don't shake the table to move the paint. Another lesson learned. Oh, that was an experience. Oh, another one was this gal, she didn't want to wear an apron, and I was like, fine, that's fine, you don't have to wear an apron until we're ready to make your design. That I totally understand. And she walked over to my paint table full of paint. She was wearing all white. Let me start with that. She was wearing all white. She picked up the paint bottle, took the lid off, and shook the paint and got it all over her white outfit. Thankfully, I had packed rubbing alcohol and we were able to get it off her clothes. But oh my gosh, panic moment. Oh, I forgot about that one. The other piece of advice I can give you is don't hold your phone over the tray because it can fall into the tray. So we've had a few people have their phones drop in. I had it once actually, and I did it myself once. So yeah, don't do that. I was trying to actually record a tutorial, and I normally turn my stand off of the tray before I take it off, and I forgot, and yeah, fell in. So one more second, I'm gonna get two more things. Because this is working so well, I'm gonna do the rest of them. Aren't these awesome? My son, Isaac, he's 10, he made this one. And my daughter, she is 13, she made this one. So good, right? I've had it where, oh, the other thing that's really interesting with water marbling is if a big gust of wind comes, it actually pushes and moves the paint. So that wind comes and goes whoosh and moves the paint all the way to the edge of the tray. So I had that happen at an outdoor workshop by the lake. So after that, I always set up tarps with my tent to protect it. What else has happened? Ooh, lots of paint bottles have dropped into the design. One lady loved it so much she kept dropping her paint bottle in. That was funny. Yeah, so, and those types of mistakes you can just move on from. You just keep moving the paint and make something different happen. I did recently test out just using paper towel to pick up some of the paint, and that worked really well when somebody got a droplet of paint she didn't want somewhere.